Hello, everyone. Today, I will examine how business models for improvement function within education, focusing on two models highlighted in this week's learning: Deming's continuous improvement model, represented by the Plan, Do, Study, Act cycle, and Sengi's learning organization framework. Although both originated outside of K-12 education, they offer valuable insights when thoughtfully adapted to schools. This week reinforced that school improvement has been influenced by organizational and business models for more than a century. Schools have adopted concepts from scientific management, continuous improvement, organizational learning, lean practices, and change management. The challenge comes in determining which elements transfer most effectively to education. The first model on the left I have here is Deming's continuous improvement model. Deming argued that organizations improve through a continuous cycle of planning, implementation, analysis, and adjustment. This process is known as his Plan, Do, Study, Act, or PDSA cycle. In a school setting, I gave the example here that, for example, a fourth grade math team could identify student difficulties with fractions. The team would analyze data, develop an instructional strategy, and implement it, study student results, and adjust instruction before repeating the cycle. I believe this model works well in education because it promotes continuous learning rather than isolated initiatives. It aligns well with practices already found in schools, including PLCs, data meetings, and collaborative inquiry. It also supports a culture where improvement is guided by evidence and rather than opinion or previously used practices that teachers are just comfortable with. The second model in the middle here is Sengi's learning organization framework. Sengi argued that organizations improve through a shared vision, team learning, systems thinking, personal mastery, reflection on mental models. Rather than focusing only on individual improvement, the model emphasizes collective learning and organizational growth. In schools, this could involve teachers collaboratively analyzing student learning, challenging assumptions, and aligning their efforts around a common vision for student success. The school becomes a learning community where knowledge is shared and improvement is a collective responsibility. This model resonates most with me professionally. In supporting elementary mathematics, I have found that sustainable improvement rarely comes from a single initiative. Instead, it emerges when educators learn together, share expertise, and continuously refine practices. Sengi's emphasis on systems thinking recognizes that student achievement is influenced by many interconnected factors. However, not every business model transfers effectively to education. Models rooted in scientific management often emphasize efficiency, standardization, and productivity. While efficiency matters, schools are not factories, students are not products, and learning is more complex than manufacturing. Educational leaders must therefore adapt to business models while considering the human aspect of teaching and learning. A particularly impactful idea from this week's learning came from Fullen's discussion of school improvements that I have highlighted here on the right. Fullen argues that improvement cannot focus solely on individual schools or isolated initiatives. Effective improvement requires capacity building, collaboration, quality instruction, organizational learning, and system-wide support. This perspective helped me see that business models are most valuable when they contribute to a broader theory of improvement rather than serving as the strategy itself. In conclusion, business models can provide useful frameworks for educational improvement when adapted to the realities of schools. Deming's model offers a practical process for continuous improvement, while Sengi's framework highlights collective learning and systems thinking. The most effective instructional educational leaders draw on these strengths while keeping student learning, collaboration, and human development at the center of their work. Thank you very much.